Hello and welcome back to today's session. So, in the last session we started with communication essentials. We looked at certain important aspects. We started with the 6 components which are essential for effective communication. I hope you remember. You can certainly go back to YouTube channel and look for these videos. Then I introduced communication tree, how the tree is built. We speak a language, we speak a sentence, sentences are broken into words, words are broken into sounds. So, now that we are speaking about pronunciation, because it is a part of sound, that is part of the 4 pillars. We introduced the 4 pillars as you can see on the slide right now. These are the 4 pillars: pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary and fluency. So, I got started with pronunciation. So, let us go deeper into pronunciation aspect. Alright. So, pronunciation refers to the way in which we make the sound of words. It also means creating correct sounds using the muscle of our mouth, tongue and lips, etc. There are other important aspects of pronunciation like word stress, sentence stress, linking and intonation. What do we mean by word stress? Word stress means emphasis on certain syllables in a word. Sentence stress means emphasis on certain words in a sentence. Linking, which is joining certain words together. Intonation, the rise and fall of our voice as we speak. So, these are the 4 additional aspects which is important for pronunciation. Now, why do we need to understand and be thorough with pronunciation? I told you, mother tongue influence is generally perceived as a factor which impacts pronunciation, but it is not. It impacts grammar because it takes a hit in terms of word order. So, we are talking about regional influence, because of which pronunciation becomes a problem. The reason I am saying regional influence is the factor. For example, if you are speaking to a person from West Bengal or Assam, they will have a different set of sounds. If you are speaking to a person from Delhi, UP, MP, they have a different set of sounds. The way people speak within Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, if they are from different regions of AP, they again have different sounds. So, the sound, the pronunciation varies from one region to another. This happens because that is how the language is built, that is how the dialects are. Dialects is a subset of a language. Let me give you an example. If you know the language that is spoken in Odisha, the language is called Odia. In Odia language, there are certain dialects where the sh sound, for example, we use a lotion to wash our hair, that is called a shampoo. The sh sound does not exist for them. It is replaced with a s sound. So, instead of saying shampoo, they end up saying shampoo. For example, Bengali and Assamese does not have a v sound. Wherever there is a v sound with a v, for example, victory, for example, a name Vimal, instead of v, they replace that with b. So, instead of saying victory, they say bhictory, instead of saying Vimal, they say Bimal. So, this happens because the entire language structure, the alphabet system, does not have that particular sound at all. Likewise, every language has certain limitations and certain advantages. For example, if you know anybody who speaks in Marathi, there is a sound called na, like they do not say Ganesh, they say Ganesh. If you go to Tamil Nadu and Kerala, they have a sound called r. That r sound does not exist in any other language. So, likewise, every language has certain limitations and certain advantages. In case if you, in English language now that we are speaking about, in case if you use a sound which does not become a part of the sound system of English language, that means you are making a mistake. So, what exactly is the sound system I am talking about? Now, before that, I had given you 4 words and I asked you to give me the similarities and the differences. So, the first two letters here, the first two words here is city and cat. What is common between these two? The first letter. Both starts with the letter C. Another two words I gave you was giraffe and gadget. Here also what is common is the first two letters. Now, the difference is, even though the first set of words starts with the letter C, on the first word the C carries the function of a sir, like city, and in the second word C carries a function of a k, which is cat. Likewise, in giraffe, G carries a function of a J, like giraffe, and gadget carries a function of a G, which is gadget. What do we learn from this? The letters could be same, but the pronunciation is different. The way we write is not how we pronounce. That's why English is called a non-phonetic language. So, this happens because some languages are phonetic. That means you can look at a written word and know how to pronounce it, or you can hear a word and know how to spell it. So, there is a direct relationship between spelling and the sound. However, English is not a phonetic language, it is a non-phonetic language. So, what you say is not what you spell, and the way you spell is not how you pronounce. All right. Then how do I master the pronunciation skills? How do I ensure I am not mispronouncing any words? It's very simple. You need to follow the sound system. There are two sound systems in English language, oral communication: consonant sounds and vowel sounds. Now, you must have heard consonants and vowels. So, let us understand what is a consonant sound. The manner of articulation is how air escapes from the vocal tract when the consonant or approximant, that is vowel-like sound is made. Manners include stops, fricatives and nasals. The place of articulation is when in vocal tract the obstruction of the consonant occurs, which speech organs are involved. And what about vowel sound? A speech sound that is made with no obstruction of the vocal tract. So, now we need to understand what do we mean by consonant sounds and what do we mean by vowel sounds. Okay? All we know that there are 26 letters in English alphabet system, but there are 24 consonant sounds and 15 vowel sounds. Please remember, when we speak about oral communication, the sounds are different from the letters. We have 26 letters in English alphabet system. Every word that you write, every word that you spell, the letters are from those group of 26 letters in English alphabet system. Likewise, every word that you speak, every word that you hear, if the pronunciation is correct, it's a part of the 24 consonant sound and 15 vowel sounds. So, consonant sounds are different, vowel sounds are different. Consonants and vowels are completely different. There are 5 vowels: A, E, I, O, U, and the remaining ones are consonants. And in terms of consonant sounds, it's very different, and vowel sounds is different. So, today I am going to introduce consonant sounds. I am going to give you all the sounds one by one. To give you a clear understanding, I will also give you examples of these sounds. All right. In these examples, the first word of the example will be the word where the word starts with the sound. Say for example, I am using a sound, a consonant sound which is P, like a P, P. My first word would be where the word starts with the sound, for example, pot. The second word would be where the sound is in the middle of the word, for example, topple. And the last one would be where the sound is in the end of the word, for example, stop. So, pot, topple, stop. So, I have the p in the beginning, pot, topple, it is in the middle, and stop, it's or top, it's in the end. All right. Let's take a quick look at all these 24 consonant sounds. Here we go. P, b, t, d, k, g. The way it is different from the way we pronounce in India is different. This is p, b, t, d. It's not t, d. For example, if I have to give a word with the sound t, for example, I say, I'm just trying to look for examples with the word t. For example, top or Titan. That's the name of a star, right? All right. For example, k, computer. It's computer. It's not computer. It's not a very strong k sound. It's a very crisp sound. All these sounds are very crisp sounds. All right. Let's do the first line. P, b, t, d, k, g. Next, ch, j, th, th, s, z, sh, zh, f, v, w. Now, third line, second and third. One is V, the next one is W. How do we differentiate between these two? The first one is V, as in Victor. So, when you have any word with the V sound or with the letter V, you need to bite your lower lip, victory. Every word that you have a W, for example, water, you need to make an O of your lips. So, the saying is, bite your V's, kiss your W's. When you kiss, you roll your lips. So, V is you bite your lower lip, W you make an O out of your lips. So, it's F, V, W. We are looking at the third line on the slide. Let's go back to the slide. F, V, W, H, R or R. It's not R like in India we say R, raining, it's raining, it's not raining, it's raining. It's R, Y and L. It's L or L. The last three sounds are M, N and Ng. For example, drinking, walking, singing, ing. So, the ng sound is ing. Every ing sound will have the ng. I'll take a 10-second pause here so that you can make a note on your notebook, because as next slide I am going to give you examples. So, please make a note of all these sounds. Write it in the same way, first line, second line, third line and fourth line. I hope you have taken it down. I am going to read the sounds once again. Line number 1. P, B, T, D, K, G, Ch, J, Th, Th, S, Z, Sh, Zh, F, V, W, H, R or R, Y, L, M, N, Ng. Now, let us look at the examples. I am going to go very slow so that you can understand. The first one, P, pot, topple, top. B, bat, bubble, cab. T, table, bitter, pot. D, desk, advice, loud. K, kite, disclose, mask. So, when you look at the K sound, The second word has disclose, it's a C, but the function is of a K. All right. Let's look at certain examples here. I'm going to write certain words that has the letter C, but the function is of a K. All right, where C works as K. For example, cat. All right, computer, or let me break it down. I hope this is visible to all of you. Cat, computer, disclose, discover, cancel or cancellation. So all these areas you have the letter C, but it works as K, as if K as in cat, K as in computer. No, it's C as in cat, C as in computer. But the C carries the function of K. Another word, cover. All right. Now, I can also have CH that works as K. For example, chrome. So, when you have a word like chrome, CH, it still carries the function of K. For example, chemotherapy. So, when we have chemotherapy, it's CH, but it carries a function of K. One of the person in the studio just gave me a brilliant example. This is an amazing example. There are two C's in this word, but both the C carries the function of a K, picnic. All right. Another one, technique. Now, technique, T-E-C-H-N-I-C, this is an American spelling. The British spelling is T-E-C-H-N-I-Q-U-E. So, all these examples, you don't have the letter K, but it carries the function of K in terms of sound. So, K, kite, disclose, mask. Next word, next sound is G. Goat, magnify, big. Cheer, chain, discharge, march. J, joint, budget, charge. Th, think, breathless, bath. This, rhythm, breathe. Something very important that I need to tell you. We have a sound which is th and we have the, right? You need to be very careful that you are not mixing this up. If I have to look at the first one, let me give it a specific color so that you can identify. Okay. So, every word that I am going to write in blue font will have the function of, sorry, let me change this, will have the function of th. For example, think, thing, all right, thumb. So, all this has a function of a th sound. We had certain examples here as well, all right. For example, bath, breath. Now I'm going to use couple of words and just change the spelling, and it will become a the sound. For example, B-A-T-H-E, the pronunciation is bathe. Bath is noun, bathe is verb. Breath is noun, breathe is verb. Alright. Likewise, with the sound, I can have this, that, these are the sound. Or for example, father. Mother, brother, these are all the sound. I'm sorry. All right, so that's the and the. Next, I am in this particular line to have your attention. Sir, for example, seal, mistake, miss. Z, zoo, disown, breeze. Sh sound, shallow, location, brush. J, we do not have any words starting with a J sound, but the examples we have pleasure and beige. Beige is a shade of brown. Pleasure, measure, treasure, these are all J sound. Fur, fun, often, tough. V, victory, level, brave. W, window, swift. H, hollow, adhere. R, ring, market, charter. Y, yard, mare, toy. L, listen, island, bottle. M, money, homework, groom. N, number, hunter, listen. And the last sound, ng sound, English, ringing, ring. I'm going to pause here for 10 seconds so that you can make a note of all these examples. The first word, the sound is in the beginning. The second word, the sound is in the middle. And the last one, the sound is in the end. Please make a note. I'll take a pause. And when you write down these examples, you are supposed to work on your own. You are supposed to give me more words. So in the next session, I would check the YouTube link, and I want you guys to give me more examples from these sounds. And if you have any questions, I want you to mention those questions. If you have a word, you don't know how to pronounce it, you can mention those words. I will help you correct your pronunciation and understand the pronunciation. All right. Now, these are the 24 sounds of consonants. These are the 24 consonant sounds. If we know these sounds, where does the problem occur? So, these are common problems that people face. For example, the p versus f sound. For example, if I have a word p versus f, okay. So what happens is, in case you have a word that starts with a p sound, people replace that with a f sound. For example, they say filter instead of filter. They say pollution instead of pollution. They say paper or paper instead of paper. In case if I have a word which is filter, they end up saying filter. All right. So that's per versus fur problem. The second one is ver versus were, which is quite common. I want to shift over to the next one, which is sir versus zer. For example, let me quickly get you certain examples here. For example, if I have a word which is pace, even though the letter is C, the pronunciation is sir. Pace, instead of saying pace, they end up saying pays. All right. So that's one common example that you will come across a lot of people. But a bigger problem occurs between j and z. Or for example, if I have the word zone, they actually pronounce this as zone. So let me mark it in red, and this one let me mark it in green. So instead of saying zone, they say zone. Instead of saying page, they end up saying pays. All right. For example, sir versus quick example which I wanted to give you. For example, I have a word which is listen. They end up saying listen. The actual pronunciation is listen. They end up saying listen. If I have the word listening, they end up pronouncing that as listening. So that's the sir versus zer problem again. All right. Sir versus sure. If I have a word which is student, they actually pronounce this as student. It's not student, it's student. For example, if I have the word start, I have heard a lot of people pronounce this as start. If the word is story, the pronunciation becomes story. All right. So please do not make these mistakes. So these are some common problems that we see. Now let's have a quick pronunciation practice. And as a part of the assignment, I want you to give me more examples from the 24 sounds we covered. Let's begin. Tariff, dislocate, possibilities, leverage. Now what I want you to do, if you're watching it on TV or if you're watching it in your computer, please repeat after me. Let's begin. Tariff, dislocate, possibilities, leverage, discrimination, environment. It's not environment, okay? It's environment. Government. It's not government, it's government. Plurality, determination, derivatives, apartment, disagreement, dislodge. Coup, C-O-U-P means coup, K-O-O, that's the pronunciation, coup. Coup basically means when the army takes over the government, the martial law, emergency, okay, the army law, so that's called a coup. Next word, isolation, quarantine. Quarantine means if a person is suffering with an unknown disease and it can spread, they put these people in an isolation ward. That's called a quarantine. Gesture. It's not gesture, it is gesture. Okay, it's not g, it's j, gesture. Against. It's not against, it's against. Abbreviation. Annihilation. Alright. So what I want you to do is, of all these 24 sounds that you have, I want you to give me words. You can write it on the YouTube channel. I'll take a look at it. If you have any words where you're not very clear about the pronunciation, you can also mention those words. I will tell you how to pronounce it. If you have any questions, you need clarity on any area in terms of pronunciation, I would love to answer these questions, but I need to know what your question is. So go to the YouTube channel, look for this particular episode with today's date, and mention all your questions in the comment field. I'll take a look. I will write the answer, plus I will also give you the answer tomorrow. All right. So that's it for today. We learned 24 consonant sounds. We learned the importance of pronunciation. Tomorrow we will learn about vowel sounds, 3 different types of vowel sounds, and we'll also have a practice session. All right. You have a great evening. Thank you so much.